Hey friends, it's Danielle with Schoolhouse Road coming back at you with some amazing apple craft DIYs. As a teacher, I love all things apple, so let's get started with this fireplace setup. I took some gingham ribbon and I just made a big bow and tied it to this lantern that I had already DIY'd. I'll link that apple cart in the description box. It's a craft from last year, but look how cute this lantern turned out and so ready to go along with my red decor. For that garland, I picked this up at Michael's while it was on clearance and with my teacher discount, and went ahead and assembled it and hung it from my fireplace. I really liked how it turned out, but after giving it a few days, I thought, needs something else. So I had these red and green felt scraps that I cut up and just tied in a pattern in between each of the apples. I think I did like green, red, green, something to tie in the green leaves because I just wanted to have a touch of more color to this. I repeated that process in between every apple and on the ends, and yeah, I gotta say, this is way cuter. Let's get to some painting projects, and as always, here is my color palette that I used. First up, we have this adorable little apple tray. I guess it's like a pencil holder, but they sell these at the Dollar Tree, and I grabbed one, and I'm going to paint it first. So I grab this crisp green and paint the leaf. Then I grab the Waverly Wax in Antique for the stem. And finally, of course, what other perfect color besides red apple for the apple itself? Painted the whole thing, and look how cute this turned out. That tissue paper was also on sale at Michael's, and I got a teacher discount, so that was awesome. And that's what it looks like. Now you can stuff pins in here. Just for the picture, I stuffed my little drink mixes for the next couple of days in here. You can really use this in whatever fashion you want. Use it to give a gift in, picture holder. It can be whatever. Now, let's get to this fun tiered tray. I got something awesome coming up. So I took a crate and I used that Waverly Wax in Antique, and I applied it with this paper towel technique. So you're kind of smearing it and wiping it at the same time, then let it dry. And as it was drying, I took these little beads. They could be apples or pumpkins, but I did paint them with these colors. And then I decided to make a little apple stand, and I was going for like the apples being spread out and not perfect. So I used wood glue once everything was dry to secure each of the apples in place onto the apple cart. And I just let them kind of fall where they were. Tried not to be too OCD about it because I could have really gone crazy in that department. So cute, right? I think I might eventually get another pack and maybe add some stacked up on it, but this is a great base. And I like the way it turned out to just sit right on my tiered tray. So here's what that project looks like all finished. Dollar Tree has these wooden DIY ornaments, and to act as filler, I had grabbed some that I painted last year and some of their faux foam apples to fill the tray out with. Now for the piece de resistance, the reason why you are here. Grab 3 of these apple signs from Dollar Tree, flip it over, we're going to use the back for this project. Paint one with pale daffodil, and here's what that looks like. Paint the second one with spring green, and here's what that looks like. Cover the third one with some vinyl that looks like this up to the stem part. Now we're going to take the bright yellow and we're going to get a little bit on the brush and we're going to do some contouring, kind of give that apple some dimension. Same thing with the green apple. We're going to get a little bit of that crisp green on our brush, dab most of it off, and go ahead and make some little short strokes so that we can give this apple some depth. I went ahead and painted the metal leaves with new shamrock, and then I took that Waverly wax and did the stems in that color. While that was drying, I took some leftover wood from an old project, as you can see, and I don't like how it has those holes in, so I'm going to take some Dollar Tree spackle and fill it in using this technique. This one's kind of an old jar, so it's dried out a little bit, but it was still workable. So I took some with my fingers and really smashed it down into the opening and made sure that it was all the way filled in and flush. And then I took my sanding block and sanded that down once it's had a moment to set in. And this really does a good job of it. Now covering it, of course, with that red apple. Once everything was dried, I glued it together with wood glue, let it sit overnight, and then cut the sign from my Cricut. Here you can see me making a little scrap bow. It didn't take much, just 2 pieces of burlap ribbon, one in the regular tan color, another in the green. And then I had some of that gorgeous sort of buffalo check, whatever you want to call it, gingham, some of that ribbon. And I just laid them over each other and used some jute to tie it all together and then secure it to the apple sign. I really wanted to make sure that the only holes that were showing were the ones on the end where the strings were tied to hang the sign, and then I promptly covered that with a bow, so you see absolutely no holes in this project. Time for the big reveal. Once everything was dry, I applied that decal, and here it is. And they all lived happily ever after. This sign is huge and hangs on the wall in my dining room. This was so fun to make. And remember, I will have this little apple barrel linked in the description. But look at this. These crafts were so fun to make, y'all. I hope that these have inspired you and warmed your heart as we are going from the summer season into the fall. This is sort of the transition that I like to do because I am a teacher, so back to school is always fun and about apples for me. So this is what my home is decorated like for the remaining 2 weeks of September, and then I'm diving into all things pumpkin and Halloween. So stay tuned because I am going to have a pumpkin decorating video coming up soon where everything is decked out in pumpkin decor. And of course, the spooky crafts are coming October 1st. Subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think and which one of these projects inspired you the most. Stick around, y'all. Bye.